Welcome to a Matter of Mindset podcast. Joseph Carpe Diem, putting in work from the AM to the PM. You could have been anywhere in the world right now, but you're here with me. So whilst you're here, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce my guest to my left. Introduce yourself.
Yes, your host Rob, presenter, broadcaster, podcaster, and ruffler of feathers.
And it's
No, go on,
goodness
go on.
sake,
Go on,
yeah,
go
it's
on.
MBT, aka Michael, project manager, podcaster, and I'm into fashion, man.
Come on, flyest guy on the net. Say no. But yeah, without further ado, I want to get into our topic. I had a poll on my Instagram. Should men talk about their mental health on social media? What inspired the topic was I was actually watching one of your podcasts.
Oh yeah,
I don't remember the.
was it like the TikTok one?
No,
Or
it
like
was
a live?
one of the early ones. It was I think it was a virtual one.
Okay.
Don't remember the guy's name, but he was basically saying that how men should talk about their mental health on social media, that how we should spread awareness. And I'm just sitting there thinking, I disagree.
But how do you spread awareness? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what is it you say? Because this is the thing. Excuse me. It's not like crying on an Instagram live
Yeah,
about stuff.
that one I don't.
You know,
I
because I don't think that's a good idea personally, but and it just doesn't achieve anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't, you're talking about, spreading awareness, and you're not spreading awareness like that. You're not, building the dialect, does it?
yeah, I think well, me personally, like I have a filter on Instagram. Like there's certain things I can talk about. For example, like if I'm going through a hard time, I'd be like, yeah, it's a hard time at the moment, but I would say speaking to the necessary people around me has kind of pushed me through certain situations. That's how I would speak on Instagram about my mental health, or if I'm going through a rough patch, I can speak about that. I wouldn't speak about every single aspect of my life on social media, but I feel like there's certain things I can say because someone might resonate with it and they might see what I put on my post and might want to take the necessary steps that I've taken to kind of improve their situation.
But how do you deliver that?
So, okay, let me use an example. Like there weren't too long ago where, okay, for example, I just bought a property. I bought a property last year. Was it last year? No, the year before last year. And I was talking to my boys about, damn, like buying my first property, like the first year, it's just cash loss.
Yeah.
It's just cash loss. And I was like to them, damn, like I'm having to like start my stack all over again. And I was like, even trying to get that started again, because obviously you now got all these payments coming through, you're trying to swear everything out. And I was like to them, like, this is long. And then on social media, I would just basically put, guys, like, I'm not gonna lie, like the last year, because I was speaking about it this year, but I was talking about last year. So like last year was very, very hard for me, like going through so much, going through the transition of moving from my parents' house to my own place. Like it was very hard. But what I did say was that doing certain things such as going to the gym, like being disciplined, having something to focus on instead of that, speaking to the necessary people around me, that is what got me through my situation. And that's how I was able to spread my situation around or speak about my mental health through social media. There were certain people that obviously liked my post, obviously spoke to me about it, spoke to me about, okay, cool, like I like the fact that obviously you're going to the gym, it helps with your mental health. And I've said on social media on many occasions that going to the gym helped me significantly. Like last year, I wasn't going to the gym. And I used to be someone that always went to the gym. But when things were hard, I kind of just was just stuck in that situation. So I eventually said to myself, Michael, you know what? You've been saying you wanted to go to the gym. Go to the gym. Been going to the gym religiously now. It's helped me mentally. Like it's made me mentally tougher. So these were the type of stuff I was talking about on Instagram where people kind of resonated to it and they can now see, okay, damn, like, okay, this actually works. Because a lot of people just talk about, oh yeah, you need to go to the gym. You need to do this. But sometimes people actually need to see it on other people that are closer to them for them to be able to actually see, okay, this actually works. So, yeah.
No, I'm with you. I think what my thing is, it's the reasons behind why they want to spread awareness for me. I think the way it looks to me is I think people are more concerned with brand building and getting validation from others to be like, you know what, it's not just only me, as opposed to why do you need other people to resonate with your situation?
Is it, well, when you say brand building and validation, if I just walked into the room now and you said that, I would think you're talking about a girl, because validation is like very important, and brand building, you know, subscribe to my OnlyFans. So which is ironic, and I just think that and I just, you know, the internet's great, social media's great and all that, but there's a real big distinction between real life and people on social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And I just think that sometimes you can meet someone or speak to someone on social media about stuff, and then you wouldn't even say hello to them in the street. So now you're going to tell them all your business. And it's really about the circles you surround yourself in as well. If you're around, you know, if you've got a good friend group, a healthy group of friends, male friends, because don't tell women your problems.
We'll get to that.
I think it's better. It's more useful to do that than it is to do with, you know, just saying it on social media, because really as men, we're looking for more solutions than anything. We're not really looking for guys to listen as much.
Yeah.
So if you want solutions, are you really going to get a right kind of solution on the internet with essentially strangers?
No, that's my thing. I'm not saying don't talk about your problems. Talk about your friends in real life. Talk about your problems to professionals. But social media, when it gets ugly, is a real cesspool.
Yeah.
So if you're looking in the trash can for 3-course meals, you're not gonna find it. So I'm just saying, just don't, on social media, what you think you're gonna get and what you actually get is not what you want. So
And let's not forget, there's men who have gone on there and shared their life and gone through stuff. What's happened to them? So Tyrese, Will Smith, all these people, they've just turned into memes. They've turned into memes where they've tried to share stuff. I remember the Tyrese one because he wasn't be able to see his daughter because something to do with the child access and blah, 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 blah. And he was getting upset. People just turned him into a meme. So when people say, oh, we care about mental health, well, you don't really, do you? Because you're taking a piss out of someone who's crying for a valid reason as well. You're not just just saying some madness.
To be honest though, yeah. You see with the Tyrese one, yeah, he emasculated himself when he wore like that pink t-shirt and just started putting the camera on when he was crying and that. So as much as the women didn't really show him no sympathy, he didn't deserve any. And this is my thing. Like, if you think as a man you're gonna get sympathy from women on the internet, you're delusional. For the most part, women do not care about men's problems in general, because their understanding is, if you can't deal with it,
He looks like he's about to disagree.
if you disagree with me, I'll let you go. If you disagree, the reason why women do not care about men's problems is because in their mind, they're thinking, if you can't deal with your own problems, what the hell makes you think that you're going to be able to deal with mine? Because trust me, I'm going to come with problems. But
yeah, do you know, it's not that I agree or disagree. I think looking at the Tyrese situation, me personally, I wouldn't have done that. I don't see no value in doing that. I don't know what was the purpose of it. Like I said, I think the way he done that, I wouldn't have done that personally. Like there's a filter I have on social media. There's certain things I would say, there's certain things I wouldn't say on social media. There's certain things that I go through that social media will never know about. That will only be within my core group of guys or the people that are close to me. So I think with social media is definitely a dangerous environment if you don't handle it well.
And I would say on social media, I'll go into TikTok more specifically, yeah?
Yeah.
And I will tell you about TikTok in a minute. But let's just say, if you as a man go on TikTok and start complaining, or in Tyrese's case, start crying, start getting upset.
Yeah.
Oh, the internet's a deadly place, man. They're not going to be your friend. However, but you know what I see often? I'm not trying to make it a versus, but I'm just trying to give people an idea, like a comparison. So I see so many girls on there talking about how bad their dates were, or how someone ghosted them, or all this nonsense.
Yeah.
And it's mostly men, so the men need to fix up, or in there, you know, oh, I would never do that, I would never do it. So they get a more positive response overall, even though the most trivial thing about dating, like no one gives a shit, Susan. So like, but if they were to come on and talk about their mental health or whatever, they would get more positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
Which means that if guys are to do it, they're not going to get the same level of positive reinforcement. And that's why guys who do want to do that's That's why it's another reason why they don't, because they kind of know that deep down.
I feel like the way, because I've had this conversation with female family members and stuff like that, where they've always said that the way society is structured is that men have always, or should I say, it's been designed in a way that men have to be bulletproof. That's it. So in a situation where a guy goes onto social media and let's say he's crying on social media, a lot of people are not going to take pity on that because of the way society is.
Patriarchy. Yep.
But I feel like with the way the world is right now, it should be more accepting for guys to be able to show their emotions or such. It's just the way the world is. You're not going to get that response that you want. People are not going to accept it. People are not going to be...
I would say this on this one. I'm not going to go on social media and tell people nothing, bro. So, but that's just me. I know, obviously, like you said, you have your filter, etc. But for me, I don't even put the person I talk to about stuff that I might be struggling with other men. So that might be my dad, my close friends, and that's it. Like, they're the only people need to know. Because you've got to remember, I think I had this conversation with someone else as well. Even if you're in a relationship or whatever, like you mentioned, the bulletproof thing, your partner is, or your girlfriend, your wife, whatever, she has an opinion of you of being that bulletproof and security. And especially if you're in a long-term relationship, you can't be vulnerable. I'm not saying don't be vulnerable at all. There's a limit, and everyone jumps from the one end to the other. But essentially, there must be some middle part where you can be a little bit vulnerable or a little bit sharing or whatever you want to do. But I think everyone lives in such extremes. They're like, oh, so you're saying you're going to be crying all the time? Or you're going to say, oh, you're going to be completely stoic and you're not going to share anything and you're going to bottle things up? No, there is a healthy medium. You just have to find a healthy medium depending on who you are.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Even in relationships as well, like if as a man, if you're getting into a relationship with the way, like, I don't know if you guys are like religious and stuff, but if you look at the Bible, where the Bible says that obviously the man's the man of the house, he's the head of the family and stuff like that, you kind of need to...
Sounds a little bit toxic, you know?
No. Well, if I'm looking at heterosexual relationships and stuff, the man is the head of the house. Okay. So it's like you have to have some authority, or you're basically the foundation of the family. So there's certain things that you need to, in a way, like there's certain things that you just need to do. And like when times are hard, for example, you kind of just need to push through. For example, like my dad, there's been times when I've seen multiple times where things haven't been the best. My dad's head is down. You're not gonna hear anything from him. He's just gonna get on with it. So I think, like what you said, there needs to be a balance. You can't always be crying at the end of the day, because obviously, if you are getting married to a woman or whoever you're getting married to, they're going to see you as someone that, okay, is going to hold it down for the family. Especially when I said in heterosexual relationships, a man is coming to a woman to marry them. And like it says in the Bible, you're taking a woman from her parents' house. So you are taking her away from her family, showing the guarantee that you're going to look after this person. So in those situations there, of course you can't just be crying. And when situations, yes, okay, cool. Sometimes times are hard. You might see a quick tear.
2 tears.
That's calm, but you get on with it. And that's how it is. But in a situation where you're always like, situations are hard, you're always crying, or situations are hard, like you're always running away from the situation.
Also, I think also you need a certain degree of mental toughness. Right?
100%.
Because, look, what's the worst that can happen to anyone? Someone could die, someone you could love could die. That's the worst that can happen to most people, right? We can say. So if that's not going to happen, okay, it's fine. Like, it's all, if you can only really worry about things that are in your control, that's the only things you can worry about. And then everything else, all the extra worry around additional things, just doesn't help. So if you have the kind of iron mind of, okay, well, what can I do, me as an individual, to make this situation better? What can I control? It makes it more proactive, and you feel like you have more control over a situation, and that in turn gives you like more control and more just more confidence. And
Yeah, I just think when it comes to the whole men and emotion thing, men, when they're thinking like men, are problem solving in nature. And I don't think being emotional solves the immediate problem. that's. I'm not saying I'm against men showing emotion at times.
Yeah.
So
that-
you essentially like mean, okay, if you are, let's say, upset about something, you have your moment where you're upset, you know, preferably not in front of your partner because that's wild, and then be like, okay, cool, right, what are we gonna do about it, and then go forward with it.
Yeah.
right? That's the kind of balance.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
saying.
Like,
Yeah. That's it.
but as in like, if you're gonna be upset, you have to ask yourself, okay, why am I upset?
Yep.
Then just keep asking yourself questions. Then come to a solution.
Yeah.
And I think that can be done in a non-emotional way, especially as men.
So when you talk about upset, actually, it's interesting. So when you talk about upset, what are the first emotions that come to your head when we're talking about upset?
Anger, frustration. I'll say anger, frustration.
Right, and that's it. And so, though, if you have the same situation with a woman, those may not necessarily be her emotions. And there are our default emotions. You know that. This is like even when you kind of read about teenage boys and they don't have a handle on their emotions. It's usually based out of anger, frustration, and that usually results in violence. So understanding these two emotions is very important.
Oh,
so it
100%.
doesn't lead to violence. Because think of all I say teenage boys in general, like
Just people in general.
yeah,
to be
but
honest.
like in that kind of, I say that specifically because going through like the puberty, becoming a man, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
That's a key time where someone needs to tell you how to handle your emotion, preferably your father. But if you have your mother telling you to handle those emotions, it's okay to be emotional, it's a little bit more of an extreme, and that leads to more damaging consequences.
Yeah, I think that's where it's important, especially in the household, to have both parents there because it
100%.
gives you that balance. Like, obviously, a mother is more nurture, father is more discipline in the situation, which helps to get that balance or emotion. But in regards to what you were saying, in regards to not being able to talk to your girl about your emotions, I think even that, it's a balance as well. Like, me personally, I can come to my girl, and if I'm frustrated, I can speak to my girl. My girl isn't going to look at, and this is another important thing as a guy as well, is like knowing what woman you're going to be with. Because, like they say, a woman could either make you or break you at the end of the day. That's how important it is. As big as you could be the most successful person in the world and meet the wrong woman, and she will take you back to zero.
That's Tom Brady, man.
So it's like, for me personally, I've got a good woman by my side. I know I've got a good woman by my side. So if I'm going through a situation that's frustrating, I can come and speak to her. But best believe she's gonna be like, Michael, like, okay, cool. Like, we've spoken about it. Like, what are you gonna do now? So she's gonna push me to even be thinking about solutions at the end of the day. So it really depends on the type of woman you have as well. Like, some guys might have a woman that, okay, cool. Like they say, when things are good, they're good. But when things are bad, she doesn't do diddly squat. Like, she ain't gonna help you. So, like, it depends on the scenarios. Like,
It does, but I just think that when I have these conversations with men and women and everyone in between, it's always very much like the guys are like, okay, cool, it's important to share. And then the girls are like, yeah, cry, and that's how you share, and that will make it better. But they don't align. This is what we're saying.
Of course.
So you can't apply in this situation a woman's logic to the guy's situation. Really, you want to stick with the guy's thing mostly, like the guy's advice. But that's why you shouldn't really go there. Obviously, you can speak to them in certain ways like you described. I mean, if your missus' solution isn't going to be like, oh, it's fine, just have a good cry and you'll feel better. Like, it's not going to be that, is it? Because she knows you, and you know, that's just not how it works.
Yeah.
She understands it's not how it works, but some people don't. And I think when, in this case, when women are speaking about men's problems and men's mental health, their solutions don't appeal to men; they appeal to women. It's like advice that they would give their girlfriends.
I think that's why it's even important as guys for us to, like you guys were saying, to have like your group around you. Because obviously those are probably the best people to speak to. Like, I've got my guys that I will speak to if I'm going through a hard time.
And they probably understand your struggle a lot more.
Of course, because guys will know what guys are going through.
Yeah.
That's it. Hence why it's so important for you to have the right people around you.
Yeah, and another reason why I'm saying men shouldn't talk about their mental health issues on social media is because the vast majority of people on social media don't care for you.
Yeah.
Let's
It's not.
keep,
No, I
let's
agree.
keep it 100. I'll keep it.
Yeah, because if you're in a situation, they're not gonna come to your rescue.
They're not.
They're not gonna come to your rescue. So I get that.
No one's coming to save you. Like us three grown men, we're not gonna get any sympathy anyway for anything. So they're like, well, you're a grown man. Like I know someone who's in my mind right now, and I remember talking to my wife about it, and she's like, and I was like, oh, he's got these things or whatever. She's like, yeah, but he's a grown man. He should just deal with it. Like this is what he's like. He's not gonna get sympathy. He's a grown man. He's not a child. He needs to just sort it out himself. Like, and that's the kind of blasé like, because they're like, well, you this like, what else is gonna happen? Like, who's gonna help him? Who's gonna save him? No one is. So
Yeah, and
you
if
have
he's
learn
not
how
trying to
yourself.
find solutions for himself, then
Bro, that's a whole other conversation.
I listen. And when I say that how men shouldn't talk about their mental health on social media, this is not me bashing anyone.
yeah,
I'm just saying, observe the landscape and then make a logical decision based on what we know the landscape of social media to be.
Yes, wow.
The safe space that you're looking for
It's not there, bro.
is not social media.
Yeah, it's not.
Because I hear guys on social media saying, social media should be a safe space where people talk about their problems. And I'm looking like, are me and you on the same social media? Because the social media that I see is a cesspool.
Nah,
Yeah,
it's
what did you want to say?
I was just like, nah, bro. Like, it's just
Yeah.
like, that's gonna be that's the worst place you could go.
Yeah, I think the way social media is now, a lot of people find that. Okay, so the way social media is now, everyone's life is on social media. A lot of, like you said before we even started, like there's reality and there's social media. To a lot of people, reality is their social media. Hence why they feel like they can do all of that type of thing. But there is that difference. Like you can't, like you said, if there's certain influencers out there that they can do all of that, they are going to get the responses and the help and such like that. But in general, like a lot of people won't care. Like a lot of people are just following you for the sake of following you or following because of what you do. Like if it goes down into your situation, they're not going to really support you.
And it's about help. No one can really help you in these situations. By going on social media and talking all like whatever you want to talk about, it's not going to help. Like when I mean like that sounds a bit harsh, but I just mean that there's not someone on there who will reach out to you, be like, "Oh yeah, I feel the same way," or "Do you need support?" Like it's not a support
You never
network.
but you never know. You never know because, like I said, I've met people on social media when, like I said, I've posted something and we've spoken about a situation which has brought a lot more clarity. So, yeah, I've met people that have helped me or spoken to me or vice versa. I've seen what they said. Like, I know of people that have obviously gone through stuff. I've spoken to them like, bro, like, you're all right. Like, how's everything going? Like, obviously, they've said that they're going through a hard time. We've spoken about the situation. They felt better. So I feel like it even depends on the type of people you follow and them following you as well. Like, I don't just follow any person. Like, I follow people that either I take interest in or we've built a genuine connection on Instagram. So, for example, like, if we were talking on Instagram, like, it's cool, like, me and him, we'll talk. Like, if he had a situation or I had a situation, like, or he said, or for example, I saw something on his Instagram that was like, oh, like, this is what I'm going through. Blah, blah. I'll message you and I'll say like, yo, bro, like, is everything okay?
Yeah.
There's not everybody's like that. Hence why you can't expect people, because you put something on social media, for them to respond to you or say, oh, like, you good. There's certain people that just don't care.
Yeah.
But there are people out there. We can't say that there's no one out there. There are people out there that will probably reach out and check on you. Not saying that everyone's going to do it because everyone's got their own lives, but there are people out there that will do that.
Yeah.
Just don't bank on it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Don't
bank on it.
I'm a numbers man, so I deal with probabilities. I'll be honest. There's more people that don't care than there are people that do care.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I was looking at, okay, cool. People care about me more in my real life than they do on social media. So if I'm gonna display that I'm struggling in any sort of way, I'm gonna do it to people in my real life.
Yeah.
I think social media's kind of blurred the lines between what people choose to share. Basically, people overshare too much on social media. Like, there's no sort of like filter where you think, you know what? this shouldn't be for social media. Let me keep this private. The
Yeah.
line of that is completely gone. People feel like they have to share everything. Like people are like baby. Let me not even say baby showers.
careful.
Like people are. Listen, I'm just one man. I'm just one man who just thinks. Innit? People just share everything. It's like even people are gonna hate me for this one. Relationships. People be taking photos. As soon as the relationship ends, purge. That Instagram's getting purged.
That is a techie one.
I've seen that.
And
That
it's
is a techie one.
And it's like, how do I say this politely? A lot of people don't even want to see you in a happy relationship on social media.
It's facts.
I'll keep it
It's facts. It's facts.
I will keep it 100.
It depends. Like, it depends, innit? Because if you're in a happy relationship on social media, we're speaking as men.
Yeah.
You're a man in a happy relationship on social media. That causes a lot of interest from other women, which is a problem, right? Obviously, but I don't know. But I don't think girls post like their relationship really like that. They post the hand, no, the hand.
Yeah, that one is
no,
even.
No, I saw someone the other day, yeah, and
not even that.
she went to Italy, and I know that she's in a relationship, yeah, and she's taking all these pictures and dinner, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, who's taking these photos? You know, and she said, you know, on platforms that she's got someone, and I'm like, you can't be that serious about him, especially. I'm going off topic here, but basically, especially a girl like proper in love with you and proper that she's banging to put you on there. Like,
do you know what? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. With social media nowadays, from what I've seen, even if they are in love with you to like whatever it is, like I've seen people that still don't even show who they're with, just because of the way social media.
Yes, you should keep it private.
You should.
I'm saying you should.
No. But there needs to be an understanding then. So it's either show me or don't show me. Like it needs to be agreed.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't. I think it's super rude to like go out for dinner and you're like just seeing people's hands and all that. It's like what are you doing? Like
but why do you care?
I'll be honest.
No, but it's just like it doesn't bother me. I don't give a shit. But I'm saying that.
No, I'm not you. I'm just talking about people that are
like,
interested.
if you're going to do
why
something,
do
do it properly, innit? If you're going to be vocal and show that you're in a relationship, do it properly. Or if you're not going to show you're in a relationship, then don't.
Just don't show it.
Pick a side.
I just think, you see, when it comes to the whole dating thing, showing the hand and that, the gallon that do that, pavement, streets, they're for the streets. I'll be real. Like, why wouldn't you want to show the guy that you're with? So you've gone out with a guy that you...
Maybe it's now it's a situation where it could be a sugar daddy situation.
That person might be in another relationship.
Yeah, man. It's just, I think people make things complicated when they don't need to be complicated.
But yeah, as in, with the relationship thing, you shouldn't be seeking the validation of people on social media in regards to your relationship. A lot of... You see what...
Load up.
Listen, you know what I've observed, yeah? When people take solo pics, the solo pics get more love than the relationship pics. So what that tells me is the people on social media don't want to see you happy, bro. I'll be honest. You relationship, man, if you've not put your missus on social media, check the amount... I don't even know what he says, but it's just me. Check the amount of likes that your photo with your missus has got, and check the amount of likes the photo of you by yourself has got.
But that shouldn't stop you from posting on social media.
I'm not saying it should, but I'm just saying...
I get your argument there. It's like,
I get it as well. But I'm even like, at the end of the day, if people don't want to like my picture because I've got a picture of my girl, then... No,
because I'll just be honest, there's a lot of haters on social media.
But we need to also understand, let's use Instagram, yeah? Instagram at the end of the day is basically a photo album of your life and your journey and stuff like that. So, like, I can post wherever I want.
Yeah.
That's basically obviously things have changed now because of influencers and all that type of stuff, which taken social media to a whole different ball game. But if we strip it back to what it is, it's just a photo album. Yeah. So you should be able to post wherever you want, like, and not really care. But the thing is that because of the way social media has now grown, where you can make money from it, you can do all of these type of stuff. Now people are doing the extra stuff and are trying to like for example, you post a picture of your girl or you post a picture of this and that, they're expecting something from it. If we remove the expectation,
There's more of an exchange now.
that's it. If like before, back in the day, 2013, post a picture, okay, 10 people like it, okay, cool, that's calm, like that's it. But now, because there's more to social media now, that's where all of these different things are now coming from. And now, like you said, there's a gray area with social media now. Like people don't know the difference between, I can't say that, but reality and social media.
You can
Because
say what you want, my G.
because reality is a lot of people, social media is a lot of people's reality now. They live on social media.
That's mad though to me.
It's
That's
mad.
Hence why you see people doing the most maddest things on social media that you wouldn't which is not normal. Like for me, this, like I said, I've got a filter. You see what you need to see, and that is it. I'm not showing you my whole life. I'll show you what which I'm allowing you to see. But like for a lot of people, they live on social media.
Yeah, I just think just use discretion. That's all.
That's it.
Just use discretion with what you're doing and observe the landscape before you post anything. Observe the landscape. Are you ready for the backlash? Are you ready?
You know what I don't like it about that is that people don't like what you post. For example, but my attitude is you don't like it, don't follow me, bro. This is the kind of
100%.
content I put. You don't like it, don't like bitch about it and get in the DMs and everything. Just add some.
But this is the world that we live in. Like you can't, like, social media has now removed the barrier of people not being able to get in contact with you. Like if someone didn't like you on road, you're not gonna see them.
Yeah.
You're not gonna see them.
But this is just on that topic, right there. You see that? People forget that I'll catch you outside, my guy. I'll catch you outside. If you're talking that smoke, I will see you outside. 100%. But no one ever wants to do that. And I'm not gonna get into an argument. I had a situation like this the other day, and I'm like, I had to think very carefully because I sent someone a message and he sent me back some mad message, and I'm like, "Are you all right, mate?" And then he posted our conversation where I didn't say anything. I was like, "Cool." On his story, talking about red flag and all of this bollocks. And I'm like, let me actually think about this. Because for a minute, I wanted to be like, yo, you seem like you have an issue with me. Would you like to step outside kind of thing? Right? But I'm like, I know this guy spends time arguing with people in comments on blog pages. I'm like, this guy's not really about it. He's just an internet guy. So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. I don't like seeing this stuff. He's trying to make me out to be some guy. All right, cool. Just block him. Just remove him.
Yeah.
That's it. And just keep it moving. But people, I say that to say this, that people forget, like, I got the smoke in real life. If you want to bring all this thing on online, keep up the energy when you see me. But people don't want to do that. Oh, no, man. And I'll tell you this now. When I was streaming on Twitch, people had that energy hard. And these guys are like the biggest neeks ever. I'm like, big man, you cannot tell me about all this big talk when you're subscribed to an OnlyFans. Come on now, bro.
Yeah, I definitely feel like like you said, social media has blurred a lot of things. Like you see on so many times where someone's chatting crap on Instagram or social media, and then when that person sees them in real life, it's a different story. Like people don't understand that, and like obviously when I was younger, like I if I didn't want to speak to someone, you just don't speak to that person or you just move on. Like these days, like with social media, people can talk in your comments, people can DM you, people can do all these type of things, and there's not much control you have over it.
I'll be honest, I'm not responding to nothing crazy. I'll be real with you. I'm just not. Because if you disagree with something I say, you should be able to articulate why you disagree. That's all.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't expect people to agree with everything I say or whatever. Just be like, okay, cool, I disagree with this because blah, blah, blah.
There's no room for
I understand where you're coming. I understand your perspective. I agree, I disagree. Cool. But a lot of people will ask, if you ask them, okay, why do you disagree with what I said? They're just stuttering all over the place.
You know, it's funny you say that, and I'll give you the perfect example, and you probably know already. It's like the controversial influencer Andrew Tate, for example. I'm not really familiar with a lot of his work. However, I know that people are like, I don't like this guy. Because I've noticed now, a lot of presenters, they go out and do street interviews, and one of the topics is, oh, what do you think of this Andrew Tate guy? He's been etc. So a lot of them are like, oh, I don't like him. He's like this. He's a misogynist. What does a misogynist mean? Or like, oh, I don't like him because I've seen this. Have you ever actually watched a full length?
Did you see
clip
that
of
interview
someone.
with Jordan Peterson where she must have asked him what does, I think it was misogyny. I think she must have asked him like, what does misogyny mean? And she was just like, let's work with literal, clear definitions.
It's in the dictionary, bro.
Yeah, and she was stuttering all over the place, and she had like a French accent. It was jokes. I was like, as soon as you try to like apply like proper constraints to the conversation, people just fumble. Like, let's deal with what I'm saying, literal definitions. This is one. People think of subjective truth, and that gets on
Or
my
like my truth,
yeah,
my
yeah.
truth.
My
or
truth,
like-
my truth. Let me look into the camera. My truth needs to go into the bin. The bin. There's no such thing as my truth. Something is either true or it's not. It's not. When you're saying my truth, that's just an inflated way of saying my opinion. But saying my opinion doesn't hold as much weight as saying my truth. So people are trying to manipulate the truth. The truth is not subjective. And I'm gonna do you lot a favor, yeah? The word subjective means based on personal feelings and opinions. The truth does not care about how you feel.
Facts over feelings.
Facts over feelings.
Yeah.
And it's this frustrating because then it's like you're saying about reality, what's real and what's not, essentially. And now we have what's real or not because people are saying, oh, we're three of us sitting here, but we're all saying, oh, this is my truth and that's not my experience, so therefore it's not real, which is bonkers. It's like if we're all saying this, if you're saying the sky is blue, you're saying the sky is blue, and I said, well, in my experience, it's red. Don't stop it from being fucking blue, bruv.
Of
Like, you know what I mean?
course, but I think what you said in regards to what is true. That's 100%. Of course, it's fact.
But you say that, but now
But-
people don't think that.
No, but I think what we also need to understand is that people have their own opinions and they do have their own emotions, which is obviously true to them. So
But then that would be
That's subjective.
No, yeah, exactly.
That's
that would,
subjective.
That would be
But-
in my experience or in my opinion. That's
so
what it
you're
is.
basically saying in the way that they articulating it isn't
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
correct.
and it's about facts. Which is frustrating.
Don't try and manipulate your experiences and your subjective experience to be the truth, because it's not that. It's subjective to you, and that's perfectly fine. Because if what I'm saying is an opinion, I'm gonna say this is my opinion.
Yeah.
But if what I'm saying is a fact, I have to have something to verify that. Whereas a lot of people don't have a lot of.
The stats.
I'll be honest. People that say my truth more time are liars. I'll be honest. Most of them be lying. I'll be real.
I haven't looked
I'll be
into
real.
it to see.
Most of them be lying. I'll be real. Because if what I'm saying is something's either true or it's not, you don't need to say it's my truth.
Yeah, for me, it's just a saying that is popular in this day and age.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, because people have tried to blur the lines between what is true and what is not. Words don't mean anything anymore. People can just say whatever they want. But that's.
But no, that links into what you're saying about social media, about
Yeah.
people to say whatever they want.
People
in the
can just say
comments or
whatever they want.
Yeah.
Thinking there's no backlash, but then, bring back backlash, as it were. Not cancel culture, backlash. There's a very big difference.
Mate.
But yeah, just back to the topic of like
Yeah.
men's mental health.
Yeah,
we
we just went
went
left.
on one mad detour, which was
Yeah.
needed. But yeah, just back to men's mental health. Yeah, I was doing some research. Yeah, 75% of all suicides reported. This is from the Office of National Statistics.
Yeah.
75% of all like suicides reported are from men.
Yeah.
So men are out here struggling.
Oh,
so,
no, big time.
But what's the solution? Why do you think men are struggling in that way?
It's a combination of things.
Yeah.
I think one of them is like you mentioned earlier about the idea of being bulletproof. It's also maybe not having people to talk to.
Yep.
It's also factoring in that you should be able to deal with anything. It's also dealing with not managing your emotions in a correct way. It's
Yeah.
a combination of things, but I'd say the lack of male influence, male role models, and the social media, I think those are the biggest culprits, I would say.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I agree with everything that you're saying. It's and the time is different as well. Like, boy, like being a man in this day and age and trying to like be successful, and obviously looking at what social media brings as well and presents what is successful. Like a lot of people, honestly,
Yeah,
might not
actually,
even be able to achieve that.
it's
so
funny.
that puts it.
Sorry, I cut you off. Go on.
Yeah, no, it just puts pressure on other guys as well. So you see what's going on social media. Social media shows like you can have the change, you can have this and that. And sometimes it's not attainable. So when you're seeing all these different things, obviously it's putting a lot of pressure on guys. It's putting stress on guys as well. And guys are trying to do what they can to try and achieve that.
And I think that's important that guys who are like 18, they're expected to have it all figured out.
Oh, 100%.
Have a certain lifestyle like you described, and it's not real life. Like it takes years for the average millionaire is 55 years old.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying you have to be a millionaire, but I'm saying it takes like 20 years of hard work, graft to build yourself up to somewhere. But because there's a small minority of outlanders like rappers and footballers and top tier men, this is, from a dating perspective, this is only what women see. So that's the only reality. So if you're not that, you're a bum.
Yeah.
That's why I'm sure if you've watched some of the podcasts that I have, the minimum salary requirement is 100K. That girls date, I only want a guy who dates 100K.
Really?
Six figures, 6 days. But that, to be honest with you,
mad.
Okay, this is going to sound wild, but I don't think people really know in this situation, women, I don't think they really know what 100K is. Because I tell you something, they don't know the difference between 5'11" and 6 foot, or 5'8", or no, 5'8" is too much, or 5'10" and 6'1". Do you know what I mean? So how are you going to think, like, people show their wealth differently as well.
Yeah.
You've got to factor in. So if you're more of a flamboyant sort of guy, or you're someone who's like an outlander, like I mentioned, footballer, etc., then it's going to be more apparent. Their career is tied to their success and
of course,
money. But if you work in, I don't know, let's say you are a communications manager or something, right? They're not going to know how much to earn. That could be earning. And it's the same way we talk about trades, plumbers, electricians, etc. Some people might turn their nose up at them, but they can easily make 6 figures money easily. They take like £40 for getting out of bed to go turn off a tap. Yep. Do you know what I mean? So, but I think there's just mixed in with the social media of like the lifestyle is, if you are this, you do this career and you're this age,
this is how much you're going to make.
Money. If you're not, you're a bum.
Do you know what it is though? I think women care more about status. So based on the status that someone has, they assume that this person must be earning a certain amount.
Like the Tinder swindler.
Yeah. So the assumption is that plumbers don't earn much because they haven't really got the status like that.
Let me tell you something. I know a window cleaner and he earns 12 grand a week. So no one can tell me about those trades. A week, bruv.
But we need to also look at what is glamorized on social media. Yeah. That is what it, because because like looking at two different times, like the time that my parents were obviously doing what they were doing at my age, and looking at times now, social media has definitely amplified everything. So you see everything in 4K. So now what is glamorized is the lifestyle. So you being able to travel, you being able to drive the nice cars, you being able to do all of this. Obviously, there are a lot of people out there that obviously want to live that lifestyle. So that's what you're going to.
But this is where the problem comes, because if they can't afford that lifestyle, they put themselves in a bad situation with credit, loans,
of course,
to supply that lifestyle for usually somebody else. Because people aren't using it doing it for themselves. They're using it to either keep up with their friends or impress someone else. Yeah. And that negatively affects them, and then that has a knock-on effect to when they're older, and then it just
ripples on. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just think when it comes to like talking about what people want, I think a lot of times people are just talking about what they want. Like,
so you were saying that women, when they're looking at a guy, like for example, they're looking at someone that wants 100K. Or was it you that said that? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think to an extent, if you I personally believe that, like I said, going back to what I was saying in regards to women, and if you're going to be with a guy, you're looking at him as being a rock or being like the foundation of the family, you need to be somewhat sustainable. Like you need to have some sort of backing behind you. Not trying to say it needs to be 100K, but that is like a certain type of woman. And if a certain type of woman wants a guy that is 100K, like, well, who am I to say no, you don't want that? That's what you want.
But the thing is, what people are saying, and what people are doing in real life is not the same. So in certain cases, gal are saying, I want a guy that earns 100K. Yeah. But if you look at the guys that they previously dated, they haven't even been near that. So
that's their preference.
No, I don't agree. So my thing is, they're just saying what they want. they're not
Does that mean
saying
you're
what,
gonna get it?
yeah, they're not saying what they're getting. Because if they're saying what they get, if they say what they get, if they say what they're getting,
Yeah.
in their mind, they're undervaluing themselves.
It's like the Kevin Samuels theory.
So you're saying that they're saying, so for example, if I'm saying to you, oh, okay, I'm looking for a girl that's earning 100K,
Nah.
but the person I'm with at the moment, or the people I'm looking at the moment
well,
are...
I can contest that straight away. First of all, I don't really think guys are looking at a girl's money in any.
No. I was using me as it,
As a
like,
girl.
yeah. If I was a
Okay.
girl, yeah, I was saying that. No. As guys, I don't think that is. We don't look at that. We're looking at someone that's going to support us ultimately, and someone that connects with us.
Yeah,
We're
but
not looking at the money.
Yeah, but not financial. I think this
No.
is. Look, I always say this to anytime I'm on a podcast or anything like that. Anytime I speak to women, especially, I say to them, "I'm a married man. I'm a family man, and all that." Yeah, man. There we go. But yeah, like my thing is the reasons why I got married or reasons why I got engaged and all these things has nothing to do with her career or any of this. It's to do with like things which are
person.
tangible. Yeah, like kind, supportive. These things and beautiful. These things matter more than any of these boss girls talk about. Oh, well, I've got X. All these material measurements of things which girls measure guys on, not the other way around.
Yeah.
And that's where the big disconnect comes from. And until it's understood, people are never gonna get what they want or the happiness they want because they don't understand the differences. Like the attraction, I always say this all the time, we're apples and oranges, we're not apples and apples, meaning so us as men, what we find attractive in women is different what women find attractive in us. But they think if they have the male traits of what they find attractive in men, it's like for like. But it's just doesn't work.
Women think that what women find attractive in men, women think men find the same thing attractive in women.
So
it's not the same.
So if a woman finds money attractive in a man finds money.
Yeah, they think men
care
are
about
gonna find money attractive in a woman. That's why when women do the whole career thing and they sort of portray like, I've got a good career, then when they're hit with men don't care about that, they're shocked.
Yeah.
It's like the worst thing is you're leading with your career, still expecting a man to provide. So the only reason why men lead with their finances is because, okay, cool. If the time comes for me to provide, I can.
Yeah, I can.
And I'm willing to. And I'm willing to.
I'm happy to as well.
Yeah.
I don't think this annoys me personally. It's like no one, like there's certain things which are happening at the minute or whatever, but it's like if you love a woman and you care for her, you want to make her life easier.
100%.
It's not but like but by saying this, you're described as being toxic and you're being no, bruv. I'm trying to make your life better. Like, but they somehow it's not that I'm speaking generalities, of course, yeah. But it's like they think that no guy wakes up and be like, yeah, I'm gonna press some bitches today, bruv. Yeah. They're not gonna be able to do nothing because I'm the patriarch. No guy thinks like that, bruv. If you and if you're with someone you genuinely love them and you care for them, you want them to be by your side and be as comfortable.
Yeah, you
as
want them
possible.
to be good. Yeah,
but somehow it's been twisted where that's negative, and I just think that's really crazy.
I've seen that on, especially on social media.
I've got a question for you guys here, because both you guys have misses here. Do you think your women value? Do you think your misses, plural, value you for your character more so than what you can provide?
I think mine does.
Yeah.
I think mine does.
Because I'm not a millionaire now, and I think, but you when I met her, like I definitely have less than I have now.
Yeah.
And I think the character and the ambition and what I was striving to do is like a huge part of it.
100%, man.
And also like the family I've come from and the attitude I have. Like I always say this as well, like, yeah, my dad's like my best friend, he's my hero and all that. And he's built like a massive empire, which has only benefited us as a family, my mum as his wife, and everything else. So and that's like the ideal thing, But and I want to duplicate that in whatever way I can.
Yeah, man.
And and this is what I'm saying. Like that's like everybody wins. Like if you're dating someone or you're with someone and she has more money than you, you don't win, bruv. Like her being creative, you don't win in the same way because it's still her money.
Yeah.
It's not good for the family. It's not sustainable as well. Even if like she earns 100K, let's say. I'm using 100K just because it's a nice number, right? And you earn 60K.
Yeah.
Now, really, it doesn't sound like a lot difference. But after a while, she's gonna get bored of paying for more because she knows you can't afford it, and then it just money causes a big issue anyway.
That one, a woman earning more than a guy, and that one is a techie situation.
Listen, I've seen some guys make, not that I don't want that, but I've seen certain guys make it work still.
Yeah, no, same. I've seen certain guys make it work. Like some people are comfortable with that.
I have, but part of me is a bit like, if she didn't earn that money, would she really talk like how she talks?
Well, I think it depends on the person's maturity at the end of the day. I've seen some people take advantage of other people because they're making more money. And I feel like it really depends on the two people in the relationship at the end of the day and what they're both happy with at the end of the day. So yeah, that's my point in that.
You see, when it comes to, obviously, shout out King Richard, shout out Pearl. I've been watching a couple of the episodes, yeah, and they just talk about the whole bad boy paradigm, yeah. Do you think, yeah, with the whole women loving bad boys thing, they value finances and all the other things above character? So you value finances over character, or whatever. You value excitement over character, and because of that, they yield the results that they get. Because if they valued character as opposed to the excitement or whatever, they would yield different results. Because you guys just said that how your missus, both of you, both value your character more so than what you can provide.
Yeah, I think that one.
And I think that's what makes a woman wifey material.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%.
She needs to be interested in your future and what you guys can do. I mean, it's the bad boy thing, like, it's cool, but it's not sustainable. And that's why, like, even if we factor into some of the topics you were talking about before, about the idea of women getting what they think they deserve in regards to relationships and stuff, if you've messed around with bad boys and you've got kids with a bad boy, and now you want something a bit better and a bit more character driven. Yeah, bro. Like, it's going to be a lot more difficult for you because someone who is character driven isn't necessarily going to be involved in that package.
That situation, I've never understood that situation. I'm not gonna lie to you.
What, the bad boy thing?
Yeah, I like, obviously from young till now, like, I never understood it. Like,
why women are attracted to it? Or what?
Yeah, I never understood it.
I can simplify it for you real easy. It's the same with anything. It's all about how you make her feel. So if you make her feel a certain way, being a bad boy is up and down, volatile.
It's the thrill.
It gets them excited. It's the thrill. It's how they feel. Because even there's situations where you could have had the worst experience with a girl and you guys have broken up and you never speak, but then that door's never really closed.
Yeah.
Because she will romanticize her experience with you. Of like, oh, this is all the good stuff, forgetting all the bad stuff, which is why you broke up, which is why people go back to their exes, for example. So it's a thrill, it's an emotion. Like, we can say, just how we're saying, like, men are more problem solvers and more solution based, women are more emotionally based.
Yeah.
Speaking in generalities, but that's what drives a lot of decisions they make. And when a bad boy does that, because haven't you ever heard, oh, I just want a nice guy, but the nice guys are the simps that they don't want, like.
I think it's definitely a maturity thing as well, man.
It is. And
definitely
just think of it like this. Women want men that other women want. And most women want bad boys. So
yeah.
I think that's definitely that one's a maturity.
No, it's not maturity thing, man. I know you're gonna say that because that is valid until the day guys die. And I say that is because if you're a guy of, because even if you're not a bad boy but you're a guy of high character, like we just described, women are still gonna want you. Even if you're like a father, women are still going to want you.
Yeah.
Even if you're someone's husband, women are still going to want you.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that never goes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because to them, like, I had a mad situation, but I won't really go into it. But to summarize, like, I was engaged and a woman knew I was engaged and she was like, she didn't care. She was like throwing herself at me all the time. Yeah. And then when you see, that's why it's so easy. And then following on from that, even if you're a single father, your chances are still like marginally better than being a single mother to get in a relationship. Because women are, okay, well, someone thought he is good enough to procreate with.
Yeah.
And if he's a good father, then that's even more like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, so he's someone of character, like we mentioned before,
Yeah.
and it just goes on and on. So he can start a new family, whole new family. I mean, I wouldn't advise that. I'm just saying. That's why guys kid, essentially.
What, you wouldn't advise starting a new family?
No, I mean, me personally, I wouldn't. Like I said this, I always joke with my wife, go, well, now I've got my son and that, I can go and start a new family and that. It's done, start a new one. But
Yeah.
that's not really what I'm about, to be honest. So, I mean, I don't think I would ever get married again if something happened. And I don't think I would have any more kids, I think because I don't want to be in a Nick Cannon situation. But that's a tricky
That
one.
one's nuts.
But it's like...
He sounds like he's got it under control, though. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I think the important thing is about that is that he was honest with all of them from what I hear.
Yeah.
They all know the situation. Financially, he's probably good to provide for them kids. And I heard a very...
How many kids does he have?
Like 12 or
12, yeah.
something.
But to be fair, set of them are twins. But I had a very interesting fact the other day where saying that men actually, or fathers more specifically, actually don't need to be around until the child is 8. Because at 8 years old, that's when that's the key point of when they need to take over in regards to discipline, structure, etc., before they even get into teenage years and set them up to become an adult. But prior to 8, it's all like the mother and stuff, the nurturing more side of it, which when you think about it, actually makes a lot of sense because, I mean, I know this is going to sound weird, but you don't really want too much of that nurturing stuff when you have a teenager because it doesn't work.
Yeah, because it's hard then, isn't it? Because they're finding themselves, like even my brother that's 13 at the moment, like even now, like this is when they become hard-headed and you kind of need that.
Is he trying to take on the champ?
Boy, not me, man. Not me. Nah, it's not happening.
You don't want it. You don't want the smoke.
Man.
When kids are like in their teenagers, they definitely do need. That's when the fathers
a hard hand.
Yeah, that's when the fathers' values most needed.
So,
I think.
I think on that actually, you said your brother's 13. So since we were talking about mental health and stuff, what advice would you give your brother about mental health? Or unless you've had the conversations already.
I really haven't had the conversation with him because 13, he's still like just playing about, just mucking about. He hasn't ever come to me and be like, oh, Michael, I'm going through it. He just gets on with it.
Yeah.
I think it's just because of the way, because I've got another brother as well. So there's 4 of us. I've got a sister, then I've got a brother that's immediately after me. Then it goes to my sister, then I've got a younger brother. But he sees me and my brother, we just get on with things. Like, I think now that me and my immediate brother are a lot older, and obviously we're both kind of going through, he's 3 years apart, there's a 3 years difference between us. Now that we're both kind of going through similar situations, we kind of just speak to each other about what's going on. Like, I'm thankful I've got him there because there's certain stuff that I might not even want to talk to my guys about as well that I just want to talk to my brother about because obviously it's a lot more delicate.
Yeah, I'm envious of that because I haven't got any brothers. I haven't got sisters. I've only got sisters.
Yeah.
5. So 5 sisters.
5 sisters?
Yeah. So I think like, that's why me...
Was your dad a player?
No, not direct. He wasn't, but that's a whole another story about that. But yeah. So that's why even like, you know, I have my son. Like that was why I know some people are like, I don't really care, but for me it was a massive thing for me alongside the relationship with my dad, which is super important. But yeah, I was envious of that people had brothers and stuff because when I went to school, like other guys would have like their brother would be like the year below them.
I remember that as well. But I'm the older brother, so I was kind of envious in that in a sense that I wanted the older brother to be like, oh yeah, like my older brother's gonna. So I kind of had to
call my brother. Yeah,
that's it. Like many situations, I wanted to be like that, but I never could.
He's just looking like,
it's only me, innit? But like having a younger brother, I kind of had to go through all those situations myself, and because of the type of dad that I have, like I love my dad to bits. Like me and my dad till this day, like my dad's there, he's always there, but. Like we're a lot closer now.
Yeah.
But back in the day, my dad always showed me love, but it was definitely a situation like, Michael, like, just get on with it. That was it. Like, do what you need to do. Gave me the hard hand when I needed the hard hand when I was messing up. But it was just me getting on with it. But now, I think as I grew up, me and my brother became closer. But I think it's like over the last 10 years, that's when me and my brother kind of had that proper relationship where we actually talk to each other about whether it be finances, relationships, wherever it may be, we actually talk and kind of guide each other. So it is a blessing having a brother there because, mate,
Do you think that sort of get on with the attitude that your dad instilled in you from young? Do you think that's productive to men in general?
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. Like I said, like you can't just sulk and just sit in the stew that you're in. Like you can't. You have to get on with it. Like especially as guys, or I wouldn't just focus on guys, but just in general, just people in general. We go through certain situations and it makes us better people.
Of course.
Now, if I'm focusing on men, with us as well, we have to go through situations for us to learn and adapt. That's how we are.
Yeah, trauma builds men.
That's it. Like we can't just sit in situations. Like we need, like you said, we're problem solvers. So we can't just sit there and not think of it. I think it's just useless, and that's how we get in situations where we're mad emotional or we end up going down this rabbit hole. Like we need to consistently keep moving and developing. So that, yes, what my dad did instill in me and me seeing him what he always did. Like my dad, when I was younger, my dad was working 7 days a week. My dad was just getting to it. Like even on the weekend where there'll be the odd weekend where he'll take a day off and then he'll take us out and stuff like that. But my dad was always working. And that's what I learned. And because I saw it, that's what I was always on. I was always on just working from young, from the time I was in like before college, I was always working. When I started college, people were like, oh, Michael, like, what was you doing on your summer holiday? I was working.
Trying to get that bag.
I was working.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you know what's crazy, yeah? I hear a lot of people say that how fathers need to spend more time at home. And that annoys me, yeah? Because it's like you want men to earn more money. Cool. He can't earn more money being at home.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
not.
So it's like when I hear this, yeah, because I do mainly hear it from women, yeah. I think a lot of women want men to be second mothers. I'll be honest.
No, he's right.
I'll be honest.
No, you know what it is?
I'll be honest.
Look, I'll be honest, yeah. Just now I'm a parent as well. Parenting is different, innit? And what I mean by that is that the mother and the father parent slightly differently. Obviously, you have a common theme for the child, but generally what they think is a good as in their role, they not have criticism of the other person, but almost like they want the other person to. It's like if you're like you were speaking about managers.
Yeah.
You got two managers, but one of them works one way and one of them works the other, but the job gets done, right?
Yeah.
So you're trying to tell me this is my way, this is the way it works, and I'm saying no, this is my way, this way it works. And it's like, well, both the job gets done either way.
Yeah.
So regardless, and it's a similar sort of thing. So when you say about the second mothers, they want you to basically duplicate what they're doing, and it's not sustainable. And you've also got to remember now, no matter how equality we are at the minute, I noticed that a lot of dads, my paternity was 2 weeks, and I was back at it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And hers is like a year.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So what can you can't do the same things that she can, really.
Yeah.
Go on. I was going to say, yeah, do you think, bringing it back to the mental health thing, do you think a lot of men are struggling because although most men nowadays are modern, there's still traditional expectations of men, and that reality, men struggle to cope?
I think it also makes them confused, understandably
Yeah,
so.
it's definitely confusing these
If
days.
you're hearing men and women are the same, we're equal, I earn my own money, and then you're hearing you pay for everything and you got to earn a certain amount, you're gonna be like, what? I don't get it. Like it's not, they don't align. And then if you're also thinking about the family aspect of it, and they're saying that I want to earn a certain amount of money and provide for my family, but then the girl is saying, oh, well, I earn my own money, I don't want to be at home with your children, but you still want children. It's like so disconnected, and this is the problem. So there needs to be more understanding between the two people. It's like,
that's it.
Or you need to adapt the two approaches to something that works you as an individual.
That's it. I think that's what's most important, is that you both come to an idea of how you want things to work. And I don't think so people are doing that to me.
I just think, yeah, you just call out people's bluff. Because people say whatever.
Yeah,
people say equality, blah, blah, blah. So if we're saying equality, blah, 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 we're splitting everything down the middle then. And you're not turning up your nose at me. You're not emasculating me. You're not doing none of that because this is what you're saying. But this is the thing. People say X, but they really mean Y. I'll be honest.
And you just have to watch you should always, well, when it comes to this situation as well, you should always just watch what people do.
Watch
as
what
opposed to
people
They
do.
say, because what they say is all bullshit, especially
Because
now.
people just say whatever. People will say, "Oh yeah," like people just say like, "I'm not even gonna do it." Don't do it. But yeah, people.
But as well,
No, as in people just say stuff. Yeah, then you ask them, "Can you elaborate on what you meant by that?" Because I'm not sure I understand.
Yeah.
And they just start getting mad defensive. As in,
so like
when you ask people to explain their thoughts, you're just causing a problem.
Yeah.
And it's like, not everything is a war. And it's just like, not everything is a war. It's just, for me to understand you, you have to kind of explain what you mean. And for you to explain what you mean, what you're saying has to be concrete and make sense. If it doesn't make sense, out the window it goes. I'll be honest. But yeah, in regards to men's mental health, there's always someone to talk to. Because I hear this thing, like, what if you haven't got people to talk to? There's always someone to talk to. Always.
Yeah, and like we said, you don't need to depend on social media to talk to someone.
Exactly.
Like that.
Yeah, I mean, I do get it. Because I mean, I know guys have killed themselves and stuff. So, and a lot of it is like not. There's always a catalyst. I noticed. So, you know, if people are depressed, for example, suffer with depression, there's usually a catalyst. Excuse me. Before then, that leads them to that, or a breakup. These are like the two main ones, or losing a job or being unemployed. They're very concrete things. They can be pinpointed and backtracked, and which leads them to these kind of, you know, drastic solutions, permanent solution to a short-term problem, as it were. And that's the issue. It's that point right there. They have this issue, and there's a disconnect right here where they can't talk to no one, so they just get even more reclusive with their behavior.
Do you know what's mad? Like, I'll ask you that in a bit, yeah? But I know someone that committed suicide in my real life, and I can't lie, I was rattled for about 2 weeks. It was when I first started uni.
You didn't expect it.
Yeah, like, so I've just gone, I'm about to start uni in Brighton now. And I was speaking to this guy like near enough every day. I'm like, yeah, when I come Brighton, come check me, blah, blah, blah. Gone to Brighton now. That's why I went uni. And I'm like, yo, I called him. I'm like, yo, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. How's everything? Cool. I'm like, yeah, man, Brighton's live. Come down. He's like, yeah, I'm going to come down. I didn't speak to him for about a week, yeah? I've called his phone. He's not answering his phone. And I'm like, this is weird. I go on Instagram, I see RIP.
Mad.
And I'm like, what? I'm looking at my phone like, nah, you must be bugging. I'm like, what? And so I've messaged the person that said it. I said, you must be joking, right? Like, you actually must be joking, because I was talking to him about a week ago saying you should come check me at uni. I didn't even know he was struggling. I did not even know he was struggling. Because the conversations were vibrant. There wasn't even like an inclination, like, so as much as I do hear that men shouldn't talk about their issues on social media, a lot of men are suffering in silence.
Oh, big time.
And they hide it so well.
Do you think there should be like a not a word, but like a topic or something which sets people off? Like, they know, like, how can I describe it? Almost like a word that you can say to your friend, and it's like, okay, cool, that means he's struggling. So if you don't want to open up too much, let's say, I don't know, you guys have a word amongst yourselves or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's say you went Brighton Uni, yeah? Like, all right, cool. And if you say, look, and like a code word, like, okay, like, you know, Brighton University or whatever, that's like your code word to say that you need to open up. Because guys don't want to sit there and be like, oh man, yeah, it's so hard. So I think it's something, there needs to be something in between.
Do you know what though? I just think, I'll be honest, like, I'm 30 years old now, yeah? I didn't really know what it meant to be a good friend to someone until recently.
Yeah.
And you know what it was? The Bible. And you know why? A friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. So you won't even know who your friends are until you go through adverse situation, man. So I'm saying to my genuine friends, like, don't hesitate to call me or whatever if you're struggling.
That's
like,
the thing, man.
I'm not just here for the good times. I'm here for the bad times too. Otherwise, I wouldn't be your friend. And I think that sort of dialogue needs to be communicated amongst friends. I don't think it's done because friends are always there around. Like people
Well,
that
they're
say they're
supposed to be
friends
there, man.
are there for the good times, and when adversity hits, a lot of your so-called friends are nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
And that's a good point as well, because it's like just creating the space where
Yeah.
they can talk. Like we had to do it a little while ago now. My friend was going through a lot of stuff, and we're like, look, we just sat down all together. Look, man, we're here. Like, you don't have to talk. We're just gonna tell you, like, because he's quite a quiet guy anyway. Like, we're just gonna tell you that we're here. You know, I know this is going on, but know that we're always here, man. We're always here for you. Do you know what I'm saying? We're all there. We're always like just giving that information. Even if you sent something, just give that information to them. I feel that's really helpful because some guys don't feel comfortable saying anything.
Yeah.
So at least if you can just say, look, we're gonna be here for you. You know, like exactly what you're saying. Like, I'm here for the bad times as well. And sometimes at least they know, innit? And then if they message, you can or they ring, you can kind of go for it. It's something, innit?
Yeah.
I even said it to like one of my cousins. I was like, you always tell me good news, and that's great.
Yeah.
I'm here. Listen, good news, keep it coming by all means. But don't feel like you can't tell me bad news either.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't be doing a good job as a cousin.
Yeah.
And I'm older than her. She's about to start uni. I don't think I would be doing a good enough job as a cousin if I'm only there through the good times.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the people that people call friends are only there for the good times.
Yeah.
So if you want to know who your friends are, go through some adversity.
Or speak to them about it and see what happens.
And see how they react,
Yeah. But do you think especially with guys, because obviously this is something that I've seen, that there's a lot of pride, hence why certain men won't speak to even their friends about situations. Hence why we do see such a high suicidal rate, because obviously pride, you don't want to really speak to your guys because what are they going to think about me? Or I shouldn't really be speaking to my boys. Do you think that is the reason why guys don't speak to guys?
Yeah, there's too much ego with men. I'll be honest. There is too much ego with men, and that ego, as part of it, is necessary. But I think that ego, it sort of, what's the word that I'm looking for? It kind of limits like people from
to
bonding.
their detriment.
Yeah,
as well,
as in, there shouldn't be that much ego with your brethren. I get you need the ego when you're in the outside world and you're competing.
Of course,
of course. But with your friends, you should be able to let your guard down a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Like, your friend should have your best interest at heart, as in
100%.
here for the good times and the bad times.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's what I think. That's what I'm assuming is a situation with certain men where it might not be they've got the pride and they don't want to speak to their boys. Maybe it's how you've grown up as well. Like I said, my dad always got on with things. Didn't really talk about situations, just got on with things. And a bit of that's because of pride, isn't it? Yeah. You don't want to look some type of way in front of your family and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's the way that a lot of us have grown up as well, where we've had a father figure or whoever it is, where because of pride, he doesn't want to look some type of way in front of his wife or his kids, so he just gets on with it. But in that situation, you're kind of teaching your kids that, okay, even though, and we can see as well, even though you're going through something, don't talk about it. So we kind of naturally just carry on.
Yeah. But then there's also, based on that, it seems like that's where the whole bottling up of emotions come.
Yeah.
I was saying this before, is like there has to be a medium of the fact of, don't completely bottle up your emotions, but don't be crying every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So if you can find that healthy medium, and that's part of the process of finding the healthy medium that works for you.
Yeah.
And that's the only way it's going to go forward. But that takes, like you were saying before about maturity, I think the expectations are too high as well, along with the fact of the things we mentioned about younger guys, especially feeling they have to have it all figured out.
Yeah.
All these superficial things already. That plays their part into it, and then when you factor in stuff like ego and pride, it just becomes a mad mess. I'm not really surprised.
Yeah,
as in, like, so reality is tough for men. It is tough for men. I think the stats that I was looking at, I think more women go to therapy than men. So men do bottle up what they're going through, and I do think you should have that get on with it sort of mentality about you. But again, you should have a network of men that you can confide in. And
What's your thoughts on therapy then, and men going to therapy in general?
Me personally, I have my godmother. She's into like therapy and stuff, and there was a point in time in what's it called, when we was going through COVID and everything.
yeah,
Things were long, man. Like I remember the first year of COVID, I was like, okay, what's it called, work was like, okay, you're not coming into the office. I was like, okay, calm, that's cool. I'm gonna stay at home. I'm gonna do my work, everything. But then after a while, I was like, damn, like this feels like prison. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm just in my house. I can't go out. You're just there with your thoughts. You're just there with your thoughts, and you know when you get into your head too much, it's uncontrollable. So it just got to a point in time where I was speaking to her. She was like, "Oh, I'm studying therapy and all this type of stuff." So she was someone I was able to speak to. I wouldn't say it's probably like doing a proper therapy session, but she was someone I was able to speak to and kind of get my thoughts out. And she was kind of able to help me organize my thoughts and what I was thinking. And I'm not gonna lie to you, even during that time, like I was kind of lost myself as well. And you kind of need that person there who was going to help you find who you are as a person. Sometimes when you're so sunken in yourself, like you kind of forget how to do things. You kind of lose yourself. And in that situation, she was able to speak to me, kind of help me to kind of get myself out of that situation. So I haven't gone through proper therapy, but I've seen certain people that have gone through therapy and they've told me to go through it as well. Not because I'm going through something, but just to be able to have an outlet to speak about my situation. And I've seen they've come out of the other side a lot better. But sometimes I think it's a balance as well.
you know
Therapy
what?
is there.
No, go on.
Therapy is there, but then I'm also an advocate of going through hard situations and trying to come out the other end. Like it's not everything that I must talk about. Certain situations I actually like going through it and actually going through the adversity and trying to come out the other end.
You know what? This is something I'm thinking in real time, so bear with me. I'm not saying that men shouldn't go therapy,
Yeah.
but the expectation of men is that men should be able to unpack their problems. On the other hand,
Yeah.
the same isn't said for women. And I think hence why more women go therapy than men. Because the therapist kind of helps women unpack their problems.
That's a techie one.
I do understand that more. And the argument is always, that women are generally more in touch with their emotions. That's why it's probably a bit easier for them to do that. Guys have a more difficult time. But it's what you said as well about the fact of you need something to overcome adversity, because sometimes it's like, because there's therapy sessions where you talk, but then there's also afterwards that then they might be medicating you and stuff. And I don't think that's healthy to do it like that as well. So that's part of the issue I have an issue with. Because if someone goes to therapy and then their solution is, oh, take all of these pills, it doesn't actually help you.
That's not a solution,
it's not a solution.
I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, so I think it's like, I heard this story before, which was crazy, about how this guy wrote to this other guy, and he was saying to him about he's depressed and all these things, and he goes, look, man, like, and he wanted to hurt himself, and he goes to him, look, man, just all I want you to do is go to the gym, get a six-pack, send me updates, and tell me how you feel by the time you got the six-pack.
Yeah.
Completely different. Now, I'm not saying that solves everything.
Yeah.
But sometimes all you need is some level of purpose to do something, or you need something to almost distract you.
Yeah.
Physical fitness is always good for mental health in general. So they are tied together. So this is going to sound a bit wild, but I've never seen a guy who is in shape, well rested, and happy in his career who's depressed or suffering from high levels of mental health issues. However, I have seen guys who are overweight, low money, not where they want to be in life in general, and they've been depressed. Yeah. So there's obviously a correlation. I'm not a doctor or a therapist, but I'm just saying, if you have, because it's purpose as well. If you want to do better in your career, if you want to get in shape, these are purpose-driven actions.
Yeah.
And being someone who's depressed or suffering from something along them lines is not, I don't want to use the word defeatist, but it's the idea of things are out of your control.
Yeah.
And that's why you kind of go into like you're saying, go into yourself a little bit,
Yeah.
and then it doesn't look for solutions.
Yeah.
Mm.
And we're prone to look for solutions, and how we can look for solutions sometimes is from actions.
Yeah.
And you know what, as well, yeah? With men, a lot of men derive their confidence from achievements.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
only way you can achieve something is by performing an action. So
Yeah.
that is why procrastination and being emotional is counterproductive, because the things that you want to achieve are only going to be achieved through action, not by no action, which is procrastinating. So
I think the procrastination, emotional, I think it's a balance as well. Like, I understand if you dwell too much in your emotions or you dwell too much in your situation, then
yeah,
like,
as in
But then also, how is anyone gonna expect their situation to get better if
based
they
on
don't take the action?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
So they're lying. Whichever way you look at it, they're lying. You can't complain about your life is shit and you're not doing anything to improve your life. Things which are in your control.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because even if you don't, no one's saying you have to be a millionaire, but if you don't make enough money, you getting up to work and do any job will be good for you.
Yeah.
Right, in the beginning, and then you can do more, do whatever. And like, especially young guys now, there's no excuse really for them to be broke, I believe. I don't mean they have to be millionaires, but I'm saying there's so many opportunities where they don't actually have to physically go out and work, and they make money online and do all these other things. Or like, there's not really the same level. There's more opportunities than ever because before, like when I was young, it was very
Yeah.
much about exchanging your time for money.
Yeah, going to
With
work and-
guys,
yeah.
is you can make more money with less time with the internet.
It's a different
Even if
time
you-
now.
Look at this, like even like there's blog posts example. If you run a successful blog post, like, you know, shout out, I'm just bait and made you think. They run successful blog posts, which is just obviously repurposing content, right?
Yeah.
And you know, to get put on their page, I don't know the exact prices, but I have a rough estimate, and it's between £5 and £1,000.
Really.
So, depending on the page or whatever. But and that is just from consistently working, building a brand online, and not physically going out and do something.
Yeah.
Just researching, building, understanding the market,
Yeah.
understanding the audience, and then making that happen. And a young guy can do that. That's why we spoke about the Tate guy, why he blew up on TikTok, because you had young guys posting a link for his university thing,
Yeah.
and then just making accounts, chopping content.
Yeah.
And that's how they made. And I'm talking big money, couple
Yeah.
of grand a month
Yeah.
for like
Yeah.
a 15-year-old is big money.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
just cutting up stuff. Like, so things, it's just you have to want to do it. And like we said, it's all boils down to action.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, we're gonna wrap up now. But yeah, final thoughts, Rob. Do you think men should talk about their mental? Do you think men should talk about their mental health on social media?
The short answer is no. The long answer is that you should be able to talk about. Where am I? I'm looking at one.
Yeah.
You should be able to talk about your mental health with a good group of male friends who you trust and you've been through things together. So, you know, I like, just to give you a bit of context, like I've had, you know, situations where I've been through real life situations with some of my friends. So I've have no issue opening up to them. I think if you don't have those kind of friends, you should go about finding them. And that will play a big part into it. And always remember that physical health plays a massive part to your mental health. So if your physical health is good, it's a good step to start.
Michael, what you say?
Yeah, man. I'm 50-50. Like I originally came on and was like, yeah, you should show your. Well, even when I even said yes, it was always 50-50 regardless.
Okay.
Because, like I said, I don't show my like emotions in totality, but there's certain things I do say based on my situations, but it always comes with, okay, I've gone through this. This is what I've done. So it hasn't just been, yeah, man, I'm going through this situation. Like, it's long. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. It always comes with, okay, this is what I've done to try and overcome the situation. So it's not just me just crying on social media.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there needs to be the balance. Like, you show what you want to show on social media, but there's certain things that you should keep to yourself and try to work through, or speak to family members or like your friends, like your core friends, people that you know that if you tell them something, they're going to give you good advice for you to overcome what you're going through. So yeah, I think it's 50-50. Just watch what you put on social media.
Facts. You know my style. Definitely don't share on social media. Separate your real life from social media. Confide in your friends and family that actually care about you.
Yeah.
Most people on social media don't care about you. And that's not to knock them. That's just the reality of life. But yeah.
But also like and subscribe, I guess, innit?
Come on, like
we
and
care
Yeah,
about you, so
man.
like and
Come
subscribe.
on, we care about you. Like and subscribe, you know. Subscribe on YouTube. Obviously, we've got Apple Music, we've got Spotify. So yeah, just subscribe at Matter with Mindset. Signing out.